Hippocrates is often called the father of modern medicine, and he said that all living systems are either growing or dying. So today we want to know if you are growing or dying. Let's think of some things that we do not want in life. We'll call that -10. And over here on the far right, we have +10, which is all the things that we do want. We have the arrowheads down at both directions, so we can see that this is a continuum. Health is a process. Most things in life are a process if you really think about it. But let's start with our first example. What are some things that we don't want? I ask people all the time. I say, gee, if I could just decrease my level of blank. And oftentimes they'll say stress. And I'll say, well, what's the opposite of stress? Sometimes people will say no stress, right here in the middle, between the -5 and +5. But that's not really the opposite of stress. The opposite of stress would be down here, like peace or tranquility or calmness, okay? So what do we do? What do you like to do? Take this time to think about that, to create peace in your life, because you really can't get rid of stress. Do you like to walk? Do you like to read books? Do you like to spend time in nature? No matter where you fit on this whole entire line, when you do those things, guess what? You're going to create peace in your life. You're going to go in this direction, all right? If you're already at some sort of level of peace and happiness and you do those things, it's going to bring you even more that way. But just focusing on getting to 0 is not very resourceful at all, because it's kind of like sort of, you see the water on the road ahead and you drive up there and there's no water. It's a mirage. You can't catch that. So why even aim for that? Okay. Another thing that people say, gee, if I could just get out of debt, D-E-B-T. No one wants to be in debt. And what do we do to get over here to the opposite of that, which is wealth? Well, no matter where we're at on this whole entire line spectrum, we need to budget, we need to save, think about our expenses, and think about the long term, right? We can't just think about getting out of debt only, because if we get there, then what's next, right? We need to renew our mind and be able to picture ourselves going in this direction. Now let's relate this to health. What everybody doesn't want in health is to be down here. We don't want to be sick, okay? And the opposite of health would be something, or excuse me, the opposite of sickness would be something like optimal function or adaptability. And I'll explain that in a little bit. But let's just say somebody's around -9 in this country. They have XYZ health problem. Well, they're going to get XYZ treatment for that. And let's pretend that it brings them this way, ever so slowly but surely. Now we know that under the current system, that usually the thing that's being treated is just the effects, and they're not solving the cause in crisis care. That's not the purpose of crisis care. But the problem with calling sick care health care, or the medical field, and I have nothing against the medical field, but equating that to health care, is that we're pretending that surgery and chemicals has anything to do with creating health, which is this whole entire other half of the spectrum, okay? So let's just say that the person gets XYZ treatment to get to here, to get rid of XYZ symptom. Now if they keep on doing that treatment, that therapy, or that chemical, or that medication, it will not bring them further that way. It's not going to make them healthier. They might build up a resistance to it, their body's own defense mechanisms, but overall it's actually going to bring them back in this direction. So medicine is great, but it is crisis care. Now here's the thing that's great about chiropractic, where the chiropractor's place is. No matter where you're at on this whole entire line spectrum, whether you're -4 or +7, if you have spinal imbalance and you get it removed, guess what? You're moving in that direction. And that's the right way to go. That's the one way. That's what we're here to do.